Good evening. It is Monday, February 26, 2024, and we are almost ready to begin our day this evening, our show this evening. And as is customary, I want to just take a few minutes to review a concept before we have a chance to talk with our guest, and we have two of them this evening. That will be joining us shortly. But before we get started, we wanted to just review some concepts. I want to, in the comments, I have posted how you could call in on the in the comments there. It's also I will also put it on the screen here so you can see that as well. So please feel free to call in at any point to join the conversation. And I see that Cheryl McLeod has joined us. So good evening, Cheryl. Thank you for joining us. And Blue Dimples. And she has joined us as well. So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join in. And as you know, this is archived so that people have a opportunity to look at this at a time that may suit their schedule better. So know that that it's there. And I know who Blue Dimples is, Serene Tate. So good to see you. It's been a while. So thanks for joining us this evening. So without further ado, I want to share with you a concept and explain that to you. And maybe as we take time today to invite our guest, they'll be able to talk with us about this depiction. We also call these winning strategies. So this winning strategy talks about which house do you live in, and more importantly, which house are you building? And we have a choice of two houses. We have a house that will be built upon faith and fortitude and also forgiveness. And then the other house is one of fear, frustration, and a sense of failing. And any moment of the day, we are doing one or the other. We are either building a greenhouse where there's faith and fortitude, and we have forgiveness of ourselves and others, or we're struggling with fear and frustration and failing. And understand that faith and fear cannot live together. They are not good roommates. They're not compatible. So you can't have one going on at the same time as you have the other. And we have to decide when we look back at our moments that comprise our day, which one was present. Was it faith or was it fear? There are two different zip codes, two different addresses. The behavior is different. And we have to ask yourself in all of our life domains, when it comes to our health, are we leading with faith or fear? When it comes to our spirituality, are we leading with faith or fear? When it comes to our personal development, our education, our family and friends, our environment, our finances, which house are our transactions being conducted in? And often it's that split and that labeling. One of the other things that I wanted to share, I think it's right after this, the next winning strategy is understanding the importance of what you name or label something. And as it says on the screen there, is when a person, place, or thing is named or labeled frequently, it does not clearly denote the true scope and intensity or level of responsibility truly affixed to or about them. Recognize this and act accordingly. So often the name that's given to something really sometimes doesn't, like when it says, oh, you're a mother, you're a daughter, you're a father. It really doesn't really communicate all that's involved there. Gives you some idea, but the true scope and intensity and level of responsibility, it's not communicated in the label. But what's also important is that we recognize we can't fix something we can't label. We can't address something that we haven't identified. But understand, even though we identify it and say, okay, I have to do a better job as being a father, or I have to do a better job in my writing, or I have to do a better job with my driving. Just again, because I've labeled it, it's still not going to give me the clear understanding of what I need to do, but it gets me a starting point. But be mindful of the labels that are attached to things. So without further ado, we had a show a couple of weeks back where Rashawn Williams joined us and talked a little about his life and some of the pursuits. And I understand he has started his pursuit of education. So he wanted us to provide an update on how that's going. So without further ado, we have Rashawn, and I don't. Hold on a second. I'm not sure why your name that's not showing up on the screen there, but it's okay. We know who you are. We know where to find you. All right, so there you go. So Mr. Rashawn, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
Very good. So we've gone from inside the house, 13 different rooms, trying to find lighting, and now we're outside in the car.
Yeah, I had to come outside because my kids is in their moods, so
Okay.
I couldn't really hear. My phone is kind of damaged right now to even really hear you. So I got the phone connected to the car, so I can hear you a lot better.
Very good. So there's a little bit of an echo, but it's not too bad. So we won't give you a hard time there. So Rashawn, if you don't mind, give our listeners and our viewers a little bit of a backstory when you were here last time, and more importantly, tell us what's been going on for you lately.
My name Rashawn Williams. A lot of people see that I look like that, but you know.
Don't threaten them.
A lot of people say I look like him, but yeah, I'm 30 years old. Just turned 30 last July. I got 3 kids right now, one on the way.
And I heard the good news that this child is, what is it, a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
That it's going to be called Nathaniel. I was so happy when I heard that. Is that true or not true? Sometimes you can't.
That's a possibility. Know that you threw that out there.
Oh, okay, all right. No pressure. No pressure.
But yeah, I'm 30. I'm trying to right now. I'm trying to get my high school diploma from Penn Foster, and coming up in March, I believe it's either March or April, I get my record expunged.
Wow.
So I have a lot more opportunities.
Hold on. You're moving pretty fast there. So you enrolled in Penn Foster, which is a online platform, and tell us about that first, and then we'll go back to the expungement. So you've been. What does that look? What does that program look like for you?
Penn Foster is actually a lot easier than I thought. I was a little intimidated because of my last experience when I actually did go to school. I never really used to like raising my hand when I needed help, or trying to really take school serious. But they got a lot of tutors and stuff that'll help you if you don't I'm taking it a lot seriously now. Like, I'm taking all of the resources and stuff like that. If I gotta reach out to a tutor or something, they'll help me out. And like I said, it's a lot easier than I thought it would be. I was a little intimidated at first, but
so when do you see this program being completed? What is it? What is the rest of it?
On a website, it said I'll be done in September.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Rashawn?
I don't know if you remember last time, but I feel really good about it, honestly, because like I said, it'll open up a lot more doors for me. And like I just mentioned earlier, the expungement. So it's like everything lining up at the perfect time for me. Whereas though I can really go after the goals that I had before I started getting in trouble and taking not taking school seriously.
Wow. So talk a little about the expungement. What happened there? How did you begin that process?
Um, I know one of the therapists that I had, like I say when I was like 12, she always stayed in my life and like checked up on me every so often.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know the rapper Meek Mill, but
Yes.
he was advocating for the misdemeanors to get expunged after a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that I qualified for that because I thought that like I don't know, but I reached out to her. I seen it on the news actually, and I reached out to her and she told me that I qualified for it. And since I haven't been in trouble, and I don't know how long you have to be like to not get in trouble for it to get expunged, but I qualified for it, and she told me that in like 2 months that I can apply. So I'm excited about that because I made a lot of mistakes in my life, but I'm ready to move on from that, and that's gonna help me a long way.
Right. And Rashawn, just remind me, is the event that you're trying to get expunged the one that you and I share?
Yeah, that is I've been arrested a few times.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like couple more than that,
Wow.
all in one. Yeah.
I think that that's an important thing, Rashawn, and I hope I'm not taking too much of a liberty. That Rashawn had did something in my office that affected a family member, and had taken something that belonged to her. And as much as I love Rashawn, I made it very clear that you're going to have to settle up for having done that. And understanding that the cost would be exactly what he just said, that this would be something that would linger for many years to come, especially if he wasn't going to get his life together. So it was a hard decision to make the decision to press the charges, but I did. But I also think it's very important that you also hear and understand that, as he said, he's 30 years old, and for over a decade, we have continued to stay in touch with each other and communication with each other. So I often try to share with people, it's not my job to judge you. It's my job to judge the resources I need in order to love you and to care about you and support you. I'm going to hold you accountable for what you've done, but I'm also going to hold you up. I'm also going to do whatever I can to provide some support. So I think that that's important for you all to hear that story. That just because someone has done something that you don't agree with, and maybe has harmed someone that you care about, that's not the end of the story. Because that person still is so much bigger than that moment. That doesn't define who Rashawn is. It was a bad judgment, and again, he'll have to restore himself and make restitution and get it together. But again, absent this conversation, I don't think we've really ever talked about it ever since, and it's been at least 12 years, maybe longer, from when that situation happened. Um, and so I think it's important for you to hear that part of the story and know that the efforts that Rashawn is making to make himself a better person, to be a better provider for his children, a better father, a better mate to the woman in his life, is a lot of work. But he started it, and he's continuing it. And again, I think that the story of his former counselor, still again maintaining a long relationship with him, to keep looking out for him. And I think often in human services, we don't understand that it's a ministry. It's not something you're going to do once and done. these people are forever part of our lives, and we are so blessed to have the opportunity to have an influence and to help. But it doesn't end, and especially, the way the math goes is you're going to be young for about 20 years and old for about 60. And I think often we want to walk away when the 60 years begin, but often the true work begins at that particular time. And so trying to figure out a way to maintain a relationship and develop a safety net for them is something that's so very important because they're going to need it. And I think that's so important to understand. And I don't think it's not limited to only us in human services. I think it's when you're dealing with people, they're not perfect. They're going to do some things that you don't always agree, but we have to be there as well when they do the things such as graduating with their GED and possibly moving on to get a different kind of job. We also need to be there for those moments as well. But sometimes we're going to have to stick out for those less than challenging moments in order to make it happen. So again, I'm very proud of you, Rashawn. I think that your best is yet to come. And so I want to just continue to encourage you to keep moving ahead. So as you think, Rashawn, about putting some of this stuff behind you, what are some of the things you hope that your record will be expunged, and so that will open up some employment opportunities? You'll have your GED, so there's some jobs that you could apply for. What do you see as on the future? September will be here very, very quickly. I mean, who would have thought? We just started January 2024 not too long ago, and we're getting ready to roll into March. So what do you see is on your horizon?
Honestly, I haven't really thought about it, but I just know like I want to do something as like a career. Like I'm tired of working the McDonald's, the Burger Kings and stuff like that. Like I really want to.
Hold on a second. I was in church yesterday, with a lady who owns 12 McDonald's. And
no, I understand there's room to move up.
That fur coat she had on looked pretty good. So let's not.
I wasn't throwing no dirt on McDonald's or nothing like that. But as long as I ever worked there, I never moved up the ladder, and I just feel like I want my honest my goal of life is to own a restaurant. That's what I really want to do, and I feel like I want to take something like that and I want to find a job basically where I can move up instead of staying at the same position. And I feel like that's because of my record. Like they kind of like look at that and rather give it to somebody who don't have a record.
Sure.
I don't know, but
one of the things, Rashawn, I want to beg you to really think about, and it's also a word that I got from yesterday, which is the word is imagination. When you say you don't have a plan, what you're saying to me and to yourself and to others is I'm not imagining anything. And when you think about Barack Obama, when you think about Michael Jordan, when you think about George Washington, you think about Ben Franklin, all of these people, Oprah, Bill Gates, they imagined those things, and that's how they happen. Until you imagine something and start putting in the work that is required, it's never going to happen. So I really want you to take the time that now some of this fog has been removed for you and things are opening up. I really want you to sit back and I want you to dream and I want you to imagine about what's possible, not what's impossible, but what's possible for you. And I think that there's so many things that are available for you. So whether it's that, you take this opportunity to clean up your record and now you could apply for certain kind of jobs here, there, and anywhere. You'll be able to think about something that happens here in the United States, something happens somewhere else. But again, I want you to start and I want to encourage you to imagine. And the sad thing is, when we do things we shouldn't do, the way that happened is the same way we do things we should do. It starts with imagination. So if I said to someone, "Hey, let's imagine, robbing a bank," they could they could imagine that. But if I say, hey, I want to imagine you going to the bank every week and being able to put money into the bank, and that they move you up, and you're one of those clients that the bank comes to you. You don't go to the bank anymore. You're so well connected. The bank comes to you when you need any transactions that are done. But you need to begin to imagine that, Rashawn. So I really want you to step back as you're doing the heavy lifting to remove all this stuff out of your way. Your dreams need to follow. And again, knowing you as long as I have, you're a good person. You're a hard worker. You're willing to do what you got to do. You really want to provide for your family. So with all those attributes, you should be able to imagine a lot. And again, I think God and life has blessed you with a chance to get all this stuff out of your way. And so that you're able to really have a clear pathway. So imagine on and imagine strong what the possibilities can be. And as Nitsa and I and others, as you said earlier, your former counselor, we're here for you because again, we didn't want to imagine having to visit you in jail or having to bury you at an early age. Those are not things we wanted to imagine. And you've worked hard to get those kinds of things out of our heads. So again, let's take the opportunity we have, Rashawn, to start imagining whatever, and as you said, whatever career you want to establish. And I think you were one person that talked about having to sell your blood previously for some money. Well, now you can think about being a phlebotomist and actually taking the blood and not having to sell it. And that you can trade positions. So again, there's so much that is out there for you, Rashawn. I really, really want to encourage you to look at that. And again, any kind of brainstorming and surveying the landscape, I would encourage you to reach out to us so we can help you to do that. What are your thoughts about that, Rashawn?
I appreciate that. I never I guess you could say I never really imagined. I just always, I take it always. I really just take it day to day, one day at a time. I guess, I need to start looking into like a long term type of situation. And I just need to, like you said, imagine. I never imagined anything besides my family, like making sure my family okay. I never really imagined anything for myself as far as, my goals and stuff like that. I just always try to, like I said, I'm in the moment. I need to, take it further than that.
Good. All right. And no, we're here for you, Rashawn, and we want to continue to come, for you to come back and give updates because they seem like they're getting stronger and stronger. And I think some of the things, as we start to imagine, I think there's some things we can't even imagine today that you're going to be able to start. And I think that this platform, and I think people will reach out to you and, offer some things to you that you may not have had. But again, because you're breaking the silence and there's no more secrets, and more importantly, there's no more shame. And I think, again, that allows you to go ahead and imagine when you don't have those burdens on you. So again, as I said, I think your best is yet to come, and some of your former colleagues are saying some nice things on there. One, Gambino Johnson, says that the sky is the limit. Stay focused, young brother. It gets easier. And so again, Chris Walton says, as Dr. Williams stated, your best is yet to come once you start imagining. And this Gambino says, keep it 100. I was talking to someone. I was trying to be somewhat of a thug and using these terms, and they're like, you know what, you say things too proper, so you really can't. You pronounce all the words, so I think I need to stay in my lane. But again, Rashawn, I'm really proud of you. Love you dearly, and I will have you back again to give some updates. And we're here for the journey.
Thank you too. I love you too. You already know, and
Yep.
I appreciate everything.
Sure, very good. All right, and one last thing, Serene says, Blue Dimples, make sure you allow or teach your children to imagine also. So you're learning about imagining, and just imagine if you can get your kids, the ones that are here and the ones that are coming, to get them to start imagining earlier. And that's why sometimes you see these young people achieving so much, because they started imagining a lot earlier than we did. So you can get your kids and also your significant other. You may want to have a conversation tonight with her about what is she imagining when it comes to the children, this relationship, your future, your housing, your spirituality, your health. So I think it's a really important conversation for all of us to begin having with people in our lives. Is what are you imagining? All right. But best of luck there, Rashawn.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Take care. All right. That was a really, really good conversation. We have Mr. Tony Wall, who's supposed to be joining us here, but I see his devices are not connected. So hopefully he can get connected there, and will be able to join us as an entrepreneur who's been doing this for a long period of time. Hopefully he can come together. And I encourage anyone else, I think I posted at the top the call-in information. So you just would type that into your web browser, the HTTPS : //StreamYard.com, and then GXM TYP22A9, and that would get you into our green room, and I'll be able to then add you to the show. So if you'd like to call in, please look at the screen there and type that into your web browser, and you'll be able to join us. So again, we're waiting for Mr. Wall to join us, but we're also at our half an hour mark, having had a chance to have a really good dialogue with Rashawn. So if Mr. Wall is not able to join us tonight, we'll definitely have him join us in the near future. Again, I think that what Rashawn had to share with us was extremely powerful and motivational and inspirational. And I think we all need that in the life that we live, in the world that we live in, to just keep moving ahead and address the issues, and don't be embarrassed. I believe very firmly that this was assigned, and this was authorized by someone bigger than us. And we have to embrace those assignments. We're all going to be assigned some things that are very challenging. We're also going to be assigned some things that are truly wonderful. But we have to embrace them all, the challenging and the wonderful, and understand that that's what our life and our journey looks like, is our ability to embrace these circumstances that are part of who we are and our existence. So it's not, the situation is not going to go anywhere, but hopefully we can do our very best to make it better, and to learn from it, and to share our learning with other people, because we're on our own, but we are not alone. And I think sometimes for us, we feel that this circumstance is just, it's something we're the only person that it's ever happened to. But reality is we're on our own, but we are not alone. So again, looks like Mr. Wall is not able to join us this evening, but let me see. He's trying one more time to join in. Let's hope his devices get connected, but if not, we will definitely have him back again in the future. All right, so without further ado, and not wanting to consume your time any longer, I'm going to let you all go. And again, appreciate you joining us. And till next week, which is, as I said, will be in March. I think it's March 4th, right? That we'll have our show next week. And I hope you take the time to join us again. So thank you so much for joining this evening. Oh, hold on a second. Tony is okay. Thank you so much for joining this evening. Take care.